We love to travel. Experiencing new cultures and cuisine, meeting locals, and other tourists from all over the world. With all the traveling I have done, small villages are my absolute favorite to experience. I love the feeling of entering a city, town, or village, for the first time. In this episode we cover the top 5 most beautiful towns and villages in the world. Number 5. Rotenberg, Germany. Rotenberg is a beautiful, well-preserved medieval old town. It is a well-known destination for tourists from all around the world. Part of the very popular Romantic Road, which runs through southern Germany, this beautiful town will take anyone's breath away. Rotenberg's heyday was between 1200 and 1400. With it laying in the middle of two of the greatest trade routes at the time, the town's economy and people were very well off. With a population of 6,000, it was Germany's largest city. Today its population is around 11,000. Most of the buildings were built by 1400, and like most medieval towns, the largest and finest homes were built for the very wealthy and elite. These people were also referred to as the Herren. Today it is one of only 3 towns in Germany that still have completely intact city walls. The wall runs nearly a mile around the town. Walking the wall is a great way to view the entire town. Rotator Tower is the best way to view the town, and is also the only accessible tower, and it's well worth the hike. At the top of the tower you will find a display, with historical photos, and items from World War II. During the war, Rotenberg suffered a devastating bombing. Rotenberg has a dark history. Back in the early 1600s, the town and people endured a 30-year war. If you plan on visiting Rotenberg, weather is the best from May to September. May and June are warm, however it is their rainy season, so pack appropriately. Some must-see sites of the town include the Criminal Museum, which gives insight into judicial punishment over the last 1,000 years. Other sights to see are the historic town hall, old smithy, and the many shops and restaurants around Rotenberg. Number 4. Freiburg, Germany. Sitting in the hills of Midwest Germany, among the broadleaf and spruce forests. This fairy tale town is home to almost 18,000 people. The village and the castle of Freiburg were first documented in an unknown scholar's paper in 1389. On November 7, 1456, Count Johann IV, of Nassau, gave the Freiburg townsfolk their freedom rights. Documents show evidence that Freiburg was established quite early on, as a market town. In 1540, both the castle and the town were heavily damaged by a fire, and the town would slowly be rebuilt over the next 100 years. The market town was given a new town wall, with 4 gates. However, yet another town fire would occur on August 9, 1666. The town was once again destroyed. Not long after the fire, they would rebuild the town, using much the same layout, planned in 1540. However, the castle was not restored, and to this day, all that can be seen of it are a few wall remains. Some sights to see here are the Town Museum, which has exhibits relating to local and economic history. And a must-see is the museum's clock collection. Also recommended is to visit Alter Flecken, which is Freiburg's downtown core. The best time to visit this beautiful town is May to August. The temperature is perfect for outdoor activities, and the rain is moderate. Number 3. Alberobello, Italy. This gorgeous small town has 10,735 inhabitants, and is famous for its unique Trullo buildings. The Trullo of Alberobello have been designated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1996. The first occupation of the area started in the early 16th century. About 40 peasant families from Nochi settled here, and cultivated the land. In 1635, an inn with a tavern, and a chapel was built. This started the urbanization of the forest with the construction of a few small homes. With an abundance of limestone, karst and calcareous sedimentary in the area, urbanization would take place soon after. The Trullo building would come to life after a deal was made between locals and their count. This would be to build only dry-walled homes. This would mean no mortar would be used in the process. The reasoning behind building with dry stones was a method the count used to avoid paying taxes to the Spanish viceroy of the Kingdom of Naples. This was accomplished by building homes so they could be demolished quickly, upon word of inspection. Having to use only stones, the peasants found that building in the round form, and making self-supporting domed roofs was the simplest configuration. The roofs were embellished with decorative pinnacles representing the signature of the architect, Master Trullaro. Recommendations for things to do here are quite simple: make zero plans. Seamlessly walk the streets, and enjoy yourself, and the many shops, and food the town has to offer. Most people prefer a spring visit, as the weather is moderate to warm. As summer approaches, temperatures soar, and can make your visit a little less enjoyable. Number 2. Iya, Greece. This picturesque village is one of the more popular tourist destinations on our list. Its beautiful, whitewashed buildings hang over the cliffs of the island Thera, in the Cyclades of Greece. The village is home to just over 3,000 people, but with tourists it can be a very busy and crowded place. Throughout the late 19th and 20th century, the town flourished from seaborne trade throughout the Mediterranean. In 1890, the mariner town was home to 2,500 residents, and nearly 130 sailing ships. Local vineyards produced excellent wine in the hinterland, and exported it to France, as well as other locations. However, when the mainland city of Piraeus became the main shipping port in Greece, Iya's seagoing trade and economy quickly began to fall apart. With war ravaging Greece in the early 20th century, and the overfishing of the local waters, the economy had now totally collapsed. On July 9, 1956, a 7.7 magnitude earthquake hit the region. During this time, only 306 people inhabited the village. 53 lives were lost, and over 100 people were injured in the region. Major structural damage was caused in Iya. The village then redeveloped into an attractive tourist town of the Cyclades, and is now known as a picture-perfect town, which gets crowded with people during the summer season. Recommendations for activities here are boundless, from wine tasting tours, to fishing charters, or just taking in the sunset. Give yourself at least 3 to 5 days here to be able to take it all in. The best time to visit Iya is June to September, and I highly recommend this time for island hopping the Cyclades. Number 1. Hobbiton Village, New Zealand. This village, yet uninhabited, is in the number 1 spot for its beauty, and the nostalgia that it holds in many of our hearts. In 1999, Peter Jackson searched many locations, looking for what he envisioned as the perfect shire. One day while in New Zealand, on an aerial search, he spotted the rolling green hills of Waikato. The location was the Alexander Farm, and it was perfect. Peter Jackson remarked, "It's like a little slice of old England." After negotiations with the farm owner, construction on the set began, and Hobbiton was born. Hobbiton opened to the public in 2002, following the release of the Lord of the Rings films. At that time, the Hobbit homes were just doorless, empty hobbit holes, with winding pathways and scarce vegetation. However, in 2011, the Hobbit trilogy was released, and this renewed interest in Hobbiton. This would lead to Hobbiton becoming more permanent. They would build a permanent bridge, mill, and the Green Dragon pub, which I would recommend stopping at for an ale. When rebuilding Hobbiton, it was designed using wood, concrete, and bricks, all of which had been artificially weathered, to look aged. It took 70 builders and 2 years to complete. Hobbiton covers almost 5 acres, and features 44 hobbit holes. The gardens of the hobbits were also redeveloped at this time, and have been maintained since. Plants, trees and other vegetation were brought in from other local farms, and were transplanted in Hobbiton. The gardens contained plants, primarily of which were to be expected in a historic, English country garden. Gardens line the front of all 44 hobbit holes. The plants and artifacts in the yard are meant to express the character of whom owns the home. An oak tree sits on a hill above Bag End, however, this tree is fake. It is constructed with fiberglass, and has thousands of artificial leaves made of silk, all of which had to be attached by hand. The original tree, from the Lord of the Rings movies, was transplanted there, and by the time The Hobbit was filmed, the tree had died. Anytime is a good time to visit Hobbiton. Different seasons will bring different scenery. I personally would visit in spring to see the gardens blossoming, and to enjoy a nice moderate temperature. Thank you for watching this episode. Have you been to any of these beautiful places? I would love to hear about it in the comments. Please like and subscribe for more content, just like this.